Module 7, Lesson 1, Graphing Systems of Equations. We are on page 387. We are on volume 2, right? Volume 2, guys. Page 387. And today is 24 January. Now we know how to graph equation, right? And we know how to graph inequalities, right? We took both of them. How to graph equation, how to graph inequalities, and mostly we use X and Y intercepts. Today we will graph system of equations, means two equations or more. When I have two equations or more, I talk about system of equation, okay? So let's start directly with example 1, page 387. And the title of it is Consistent Systems. Consistent Systems. Now focus with me on the board, guys, please, before we start. Now, if I have this equation, y equal 3x plus 2, and this equation y equal 2x plus 7, for example, and I graph them both, and I have, for example, these two lines. Okay? We know how to graph each equation, right? You understand me? Now, when I have system of equation, I'm talking about a solution that solves both equations. Now, the intersection point, this is the solution. This is what? This point has x and has what? I'm assuming, by the way, okay? All of this is assuming. This is x and y. This x and y, the intersection point, is the solution of the first equation and the second equation. Done? So, example 1, consistent systems. Consistent system means it has only one intersection points between the two lines. Means it has only one solution. Do you understand me? Yeah. Let's take example 1. Example 1, page 387. Example 1. Focus, please, guys. Don't copy, don't try, just focus with me. The question is saying use the graph to determine the number of solutions the systems has, then state whether the system of equations is consistent or inconsistent, and if it's dependent or independent or dependent. In your book, guys, is it graphed in your book? Good. Now this is the system of equation you have, which you have y equal minus 3 x plus 1 and y equal x minus 3. This is not one equation, it is what? Two equations. Together we call them system of equations. Now if you see the graph, it's already graphed in your book, right? One with red line and the other with the blue line. The red line is negative, it is x minus 3. The blue line is negative 3x plus 1, right? And it's graphed something like this one. Focus, please. Right? We have intersection point here. صح? This intersection point has x and y, right? What's the x of the intersection point? يعني من الانترسكشن اطلع جيب x. What's the x here? It is 1. And what's the y axis here? Negative 2. So this point here, it is 1 and what? Negative 2. This intersection point is the solution of the system. Means if you go to the first system and replace y by and x by 1, let's see if you have equal or no. So y negative 2, is it equal to negative 3 multiply x, which is 1 plus 1? I'm checking. Right? So this is negative 2. Is it equal to negative 3 multiply 1, negative 3 plus 1? Is negative 2, this is negative 2? Yes. So this point is a solution for the first equation, right? Let's check if this point is a solution for the second equation also. Replace y by and x by 1. 1 minus 3 minus 2. So this intersection point is a solution for the first equation and it's a solution for the second equation, right? So which means this intersection point, how we know the solution? By the intersection point. If the two lines intersected with each other, then this intersecting point is the solution. But if the two lines not intersected with each other, they will be parallel, right? Parallel, they won't intersect, means there is no solution, right? You understand me? Now, let's see what the book wrote in front of you. Since the graphs has two lines intersect at one point, there is exactly one solution. There is exactly one solution, okay? So here we have one-ish solution only. When they say exactly, means only one solution. What is the solution? The point 1, comma, negative 2. This is the solution. This is one solution, not two solutions, okay? But therefore, the system is what? Consistent and what? Independent. Consistent means what? It has one solution, and independent, okay? Independent, it has solution. Consistent, it has only one solution. Do you understand? Do you understand? To understand the dependent and independent, we have a paragraph before example 1. Let's go back and read it slowly to see when it is independent, when it is dependent, consistent or inconsistent. Let's go back before example 1. We're like a set of two or more equations with the same variables is called a system of equations. Do you understand? Underline. An ordered pair that is a solution of both equations is a solution of the system. Like this point here, we call it ordered pair, an ordered pair, one ordered pair. If it's a solution for each equation in the system, then this solution is the solution for the whole system. Done? Right. A system of two linear equations can have one solution, an infinite number of solutions, or no solution. When it has one solution, if they have intersecting point. Done? When they have no solution, if you have parallel lines, they won't intersect. When they have infinitely many solutions, if we have the two lines over each other, if we have the two lines over each other. So we have three cases here. Either no solutions, either one solution, or what? Infinitely many solution. One solution like this example. Here we have only one solution, which is this point, one intersecting point. They won't intersect again, right? The two lines, if they intersected once, they won't intersect again because this is forever, this is forever, this is forever, and this is forever. We have only one, between two lines, we have only one intersecting point. But when we have infinitely many solutions, if you have a graph and you graph the first line and the second line becomes on the first line, yani the two lines over each other. So each point is what? Intersected point, right? So here we have infinitely many intersections, so infinitely many solutions. Done? Yes. Vertical. Is it intersected with the other line? So we have one solution. If we have intersection point, خلاص. Whatever. Done? Done? Right. Now let's read the types of these solutions. The types, they are very important. A system of equations is consistent. متى بيكون اسمه consistent? If it has at least one ordered pair that satisfies both equations, like this one on the board. Satisfies means what? Makes the two equations correct. يعني هذه ال1 and -2 makes the first equation correct and makes the second equation correct. We say this point satisfies the two solutions. So if you have at least one point, then we call it what? Consistent. Right. If a consistent system of equations has exactly one solution, it is said to be what? So if we have a system and if it has at least one solution, we call it what? Consistent. When I say at least one solution, means it can be one or two solutions. When we take quadratic equations, you will have two solutions or three solutions, at least one. So at least one, we call it consistent. Exactly one, like the one on the board, we have exactly one solution, so we call it consistent and what? Independent. Got it? But if a consistent system of equations that has in an infinite number of solutions, we call it what? Dependent. So independent if we have one solution. Dependent if it has infinitely many solutions, like if the two lines are over each other, right? But the graphs are the same line. This means that they are unlimited solutions. So a system of equations is inconsistent if it has no ordered pair that satisfies both equations. The graphs are what? Parallel. They won't intersect with each other. Do you understand? I will repeat them again. Consistent, it has at least one solution. It can be one, it can be two. يعني في solutions. Consistent. Independent if it has exactly one solution. خلاص? Dependent if it has infinitely many solutions. If the two lines are over each other. And you have one line, but two lines over each other. So this is called infinitely many solution. Dependent, infinitely many solution. If there is no solution, we call it. So solutions means consistent. No solutions, inconsistent. One solution, independent. Infinitely many solutions, dependent. Get it? Like the one on the board, it has one solution, independent. At least one solution, consistent. صار اسمه consistent to ايش؟ وindependent. Okay? Done example one. Do we know how we graph these two lines, these two equations here? Yes. Take the first one, x-intercept, y-intercept, we graph. Take the second one, x-intercept and y-intercept, we graph. We did a lot of graphs this year, right? Let's take example two together. Is it graphed in your book? Yeah. Example two. Example two. Focus with example two. We have this system of equations: y equal half x plus 2, y equal half x plus 2, and y equal half x plus what? Minus 1. Now, this is the graph which is given in your board, in your book. Half x plus 2 and half x minus 1, right? هذا half x plus 2 وهذا half x minus 1. اطلع two lines. Do they are intersect? No. Mean there is no solutions. صح? No intersection points, no solutions. Which means what's the type of it? Consistent or inconsistent? Inconsistent. إذن هذا إيش اسمه؟ Inconsistent. So the book said, since the graphs of these two lines are parallel, there is no solution of the system. Therefore, the system is what? Inconsistent. Done? Is it clear, guys? Let's do the check together. Let's do the check together. In check, we have two graphs. The first graph, they gave me the two lines. See the two lines in the first graph, part A? The first graph. We have two lines like this one. Do we have intersection points? No. Means no solutions. No solutions, we call it what? Inconsistent. So here, no solutions. So we call it inconsistent. This is the first graph. The second graph, we have this one. Do we have intersection point? Yes, this point is intersection. So it has a solution. So what do we call it? Consistent. How many solutions we have? Exactly one. What we call it now? Independent. So it is consistent because it has a solution, and independent because it has exactly one solution. So what we call it? Consistent and independent at the same time. Do you understand? Consistent and independent. Okay, guys? Let's see example 3. Number of solutions, equations in slope intercept form. Let's remember the slope intercept form. Look here, guys, please. Let's remember, guys, remember. Y equal mx plus b, remember? The m is what? Slope, the slope, and the b is what? Y-intercept, right? Fine. Look at these two lines. Y equal 3x plus 5 and y equal 5x (7x plus 2). And y equal 5x plus 7, y equal 5x minus 11. What's the slope here? What's the slope here? What's the y-intercept? What's the y-intercept? Do we have same lines? When the two lines parallel, if they have the same slope, are these two lines parallel? No, means they are not parallel. But are they the same line? No. So we have different line. They will intersect. They will what? So here we have one solution. صح? But here, what's the slope? What's the slope? Do we have the same y-intercept so we can say these are the same lines? No. So we have similar slopes, means they are parallel with different y-intercepts. So here they are parallel lines. Do we have solutions if we have parallel lines? No. So from the equation, we can know if we have solutions or if we don't have solutions, right? So don't forget that the parallel lines, they have the same slope. The perpendicular lines, if you remember, if you multiply the slopes, the answer will be -1. So revise. Now let's see example 3. Determine the number of solutions the system has. Then state whether the system of equation is consistent or inconsistent, independent or dependent. اطلع السيستم الأول. Y equal, example what? يلا example 3. Y equal plus and y equal help. Look here, guys, focus. The first slope is how much? 6. The second slope, 6, so they are parallel. Top. Do we have the same y-intercept? If we have the same y-intercept, ركز معي شو بدي أحكي. If we have the same y-intercept, means we are talking about the same line, right? Infinitely many solutions, and it is dependent, right? Consistent to dependent. Right. Here we have same slopes, they are parallel. Different y-intercepts means different lines. يعني different lines or parallel. Different lines or parallel means there is no solutions, right? So here, no solutions. And if there is no solution, why? Because the two lines are parallel, right? But why they are parallel? Because they have the same slope with different y-intercepts, right? But no solutions, because, so what we call it if we have no solutions? Consistent, right? Inconsistent. Do you understand? But do I need to graph them to know that if they are intersect? If you graph them, you graph the first equation, the second equation, you will have something like this. Parallel lines. مش هيتقاطع. There is no intersecting between them. Done? So the system has, إذا عندك spaces, let's fill them together. If you have spaces, because I'm reading, you fill with me in your book. Because the slopes are the same and the y-intercepts are different, the lines are what? Parallel. Again, because the slopes are the same and the y-intercepts are different, the lines are what? Parallel. But the system, if the lines are parallel, the system has what? No solutions. Therefore, the system is what? Inconsistent. وين كتبكم شباب؟ ما في week قدام؟ Volume 2. Check. Let's see the check together. Check. What are the two equations in the check? Y equal 4/5x minus 2 and y equal 4y. 4y minus, again, 4y minus 5x equal 9. This is the system, right? System of two equations. لا تكتب يا ابني، انتبه على البورد بعدين تكتب. Is this equation ready on the y-intercept form so we can talk about the y-intercept and the slope? It is ready. The second equation, it is not ready. What's the slope in the second equation? First, what's the slope in the first equation? Here 4/5. Here, don't say -5. It's not y equal, right? So first you need to prepare the second equation on the form y equal mx plus b. So you can talk about the slope and the y-intercept, right? So let's prepare. We shift the -5x, then we divide on what? 4. Yeah, 4y equal 5x plus 9, right? I shifted the -5x here. Divide on 4, divide on 4, divide on 4. So y equal 5/4x plus 9/4, it's 2.5, right? It is 2.5. Now this is the equation which I want to talk about. Now let's go back here. What's the slope here? 4/5. What's the slope here? The slope 5/4. We have different slopes. We have different slopes. What's the y-intercept here? Y-intercept negative. What's the y-intercept here? My question is, because we have 9/4, because we have different slopes, then the two lines are not parallel. So we have two cases here. Either they intersected one time or infinitely many times, right? صح؟ ما هم مش parallel. Yeah, intersected one time, yeah, intersected infinitely many times, right? But different slopes and different y-intercepts. The y-intercept here is 9/4. The y-intercept here -2. Means we are talking about not the same line. We are talking about different lines. Now ركز معي. Different lines with different slopes. So they are intersected how many times? One time. They will intersect one time. Intersecting one time means what? One solution, right? One solution is what we call it? Consistent and independent. So this system is consistent it has مين الات السيستم it has exactly one solution معناته consistent and what? Independent. So here we are talking about how many solutions and what's the type of them. We are not finding the solutions. When we will find the solution, if the question said solve the following system, right? So here the question wants us to know how many solutions and what's the type of them. One solution, infinitely many solution, or no solutions, right? Type. Let's see example 4. Example 4. Example 4. In example 4, we have the following two equations: 4y minus 6x, 4y minus 6x equal 16, and equal negative. Hell. Same idea. The question wants us to know how many solutions and the type of them: consistent, dependent, inconsistent, or independent. Got it? Done? To know, I need to determine the slope, determine the y-intercept, to see parallel, مش parallel, same line, different lines, whatever, right? So let's start with the first equation here. Prepare it to be in the y-intercept, slope intercept 4, right? So here shift the negative 6x here. It will be 4y equal 6x plus 16, right? Divide on 4, divide on 4, divide on 4. Y will be 6 over 4 اللي هي 1.5, right? 1.5x plus 4. خليها ببالك هذه. Go to the second equation now. The second equation. Shift the 9x, divide by negative 6, right? Yeah. So negative 6y equal negative 9x, negative, divide on negative 6, divide on negative 6, divide on negative 6. Y will be 9 divided by 6, 1.5, positive, right? 1.5x plus 4. Now look here. They have the same slope. Same slope, they are parallel. Same slope with same y-intercept. So parallel وفوق بعض. فهمت؟ Same slopes and same y-intercept. So same slopes, different y-intercept, parallel, no solutions. Same slopes, same y-intercepts, they are one line. So they have infinitely many solutions. So here we have infinitely many solutions, right? طب infinitely many solutions ايش اسمه؟ Dependent وايش؟ Consistent. Consistent. Inconsistent, one solution, right? At least one. Infinitely, we call it consistent to ايش؟ ودependent. Consistent. Consistent. And what? Dependent. Do you understand? Let's do the check after this example. Check page 389. Determine the number of solutions the system has for x minus 8y equal 16 and 6x minus 12y equal 5. Can we know now? No, you need to turn it to slope-intercept form so you can determine the slope and the y-intercept. So let's take the first equation. Negative 8y equal negative 4x plus 16, right? Divide by negative 8, divide by negative 8, divide by negative 8. Y equal negative 4 divided by negative 8, half x minus 2, right? 16 divided by negative 8. This is the first equation. Now the second equation. Negative 12y equal negative 6x minus 5, right? Divide by negative 12, divide by negative 12, divide by negative 12. Y will be negative 6 divided by negative 12, برضو half x plus 5 over 12, right? This is the second equation, right? Now the slope is what here? Half. And here, half. So we have the same slopes with different y-intercept. The y-intercept here negative 2 and there 5 over 12. So what we have here? Same slopes or different y-intercepts. قبل شوي شو كان؟ Same slopes or same y-intercept means they are the same line. صح? Same line means infinitely many solutions, means consistent and dependent. But here we have same same slopes and different y-intercepts. Means they are what? They are what? The two lines, they are what? They are parallel lines. Parallel lines, no solutions, right? So here we have parallel lines means no solutions. And if it has no solutions, what we call it? Inconsistent. So here N done? Done. I will write for you some notes for you. Are you copying this? Yalla, copy. ركزوا معي الآن. Note 1. أنت حر. Consistent. The system has at least one solutions. يعني it can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 3. Okay. Inconsistent. No solutions. Done? Okay. But if we have one solution, exactly one solution, what we call it? No. Independent, exactly one solution. Consistent, at least one solution. شو الفرق بينهم؟ الindependent يعني one solution وبس. Consistent, at least one solution. It can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 3. Later on, we'll take systems with more than one solution. Okay? So, independent means exactly ايش؟ one solution. Dependent infinitely many solutions. Done? Done? But look here. Same slopes. Sorry. Look here, please. Different slopes. Different slopes. Huh? Or different y-intercepts means they are intersecting at what point, right? At one point. So here we have one solution. But same slopes with same y-intercept means we have infinitely, right? Many solution. Third case, same slopes with different y-intercept means they are parallel. يعني what? No solutions. هذا السمري لكل الكونسبتس. That's all for the online. And tomorrow, inshallah, we'll continue in this lesson. Thank you. Yeah, your homework for today is we are on page what? 395, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take a picture from your friends. 1 to 10 is your homework for today. 1, 2, 3, 4, you need to prepare the equations. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you need to prepare the equations too. صح? That's all for today. Thank you.